Welcome to the Living Alone podcast, where we help you reclaim your confidence and energy through taking control of your wellness. I'm Paige Hope.
And I'm Tracy Vallejos. Join us for quick chats on wellness, personal growth, hormone regulation, and more. And welcome to another episode of Living Alone. And as always, I am here with the incredible, and may I just say beautiful, Paige Hope. Paige,
Tracy.
you look beautiful every day, but can I just say you just look extra beautiful and sparkly today.
Tracy, I owe it to you. You want to know why? Because I've got to spend the last 4 days with you getting my sparkle back.
Aww.
It's not even the clothes, it's not the makeup, it's literally the energy, because you and me together. Find you a Tracy, everybody.
Well, find you a Paige. And if you want to know how to get your sparkle back, make sure you listen to last week's episode. And I am being serious about this, but I mean it. You are just being extra sparkly and stunning today.
Tracy, thank you. I needed that.
welcome. Yeah.
And you know what? Listen to that Sparkle episode, because Tracy's doing a challenge and she's helping hold you guys accountable if you need that.
Yes.
And so go listen to last week's episode. But this is an extra special episode because once a month, I get to interview Tracy on wellness questions that you guys all have that you submit into our email so that we can create content that you guys actually learn from and enjoy. And I just have to say, most people, just if you're new here, Tracy is our president of wellness, education, and community, okay? But not only that, she is a holistic practitioner for over a decade. So once a month, we get to ask her wellness tips or whatever that looks like. Because Living Alone, we've got those 4 buckets. We've got wellness, business, personal, beauty.
Yes.
And we have our own in-house wellness expert. And it's amazing. So, Tracy, I'm excited today. And I know that you have a lot to share today because you're getting blasted with questions all about this topic.
Yeah.
And what this is how simple changes that we can implement to heal our hormones.
Yeah.
So if I can ask a first question, Tracy, how do people know if they, without getting a test, we do always recommend tests, yes, but what are some symptoms that people can ask themselves that might be an indicator that their hormones might be a little out of balance?
Yeah. And I want everybody to understand too, hormones is a really broad word, obviously. And I always like to just put this into perspective, right? It's more than just sex hormones. We used to always talk about hormones that way. Hormones are so much deeper than that. And I always say, like the battery of your car, there's if we was to take off the top, there are a lot of wires in there that give you that energy that we're talking about, that do all that. So there's a lot of different areas and why there's so much testing when it comes to hormones. So we're going to take a broad overview. But one of the biggest things, Paige, that I hear and I want people to ask themselves, but I have a feeling already, is I'm so exhausted and tired. I have brain fog. I don't feel like myself, right? That energetic, confident self. And even last week we was talking about my sparkle has dulled. A lot of that are some things that we can change. It really does have to do with hormone balance. So again, I always like to set the tone that for many years hormones were more talked about sex hormones. It's way more hormones than that. Yep. And when you understand there are simple things that you can do in life to balance, as I like to say, or tweak, right? Those hormones, it makes a big difference. Okay. So are you tired, exhausted? Are some things just feeling off? Don't just say to yourself, oh, I'm just aging, right? We've all heard that. Oh, this is just part of life. Sure. Yeah, we are aging. But when you know it, you know it. No, don't just settle for that. There are some things I want you to know to your core. So really ask you those things. Are you feeling a little bit off? Is there just something?
Okay, so then that leads me to my next thing, Tracy, because I'm just going to assume 99% of people on here are like, yeah, well, my PMS kind of sucks. Some of it's irregular. Yes. I've got chronic headaches, insomnia, like the list goes on. I suffered from, so many, right? And so when you recognize that in yourself, I want you to go through and kind of talk about the big things that we can do today. And I know you do a lot of education around cortisol. And so I want that to be number one. Can you talk us?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, they just think like cortisol, bad, 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 right? Which,
yes.
How does it work with our body, and how can we actually get that back on track to where it is working the way it's supposed to be?
Hey, when you look at cortisol, it is almost like one of the precursors to all hormones, right? You have those adrenals and then the cortisol, and then they start affecting the other different types of hormones that we have. So everybody always says, oh, high cortisol, high cortisol. Well, believe me, I want you to know you want cortisol. Cortisol is a really good thing. All right. So meaning for myself, when I got tested, my cortisol in the morning had absolutely pretty much like flat deadline. So let me just put it this way. When you do a cortisol test, I'm not saying you have to, you test it 4 times. Once you rise in the morning, they have you do it in the afternoon. They have you do it early evening and at night because they're trying to check the flow of it. At night, your cortisol should be dropping so you can sleep. All right. In the morning, it should be really high because you're getting awake. Remember when I talk about energy and battery? For me, it was polar opposite. Oh. I was deadlined in the morning. They literally were like, wow, like we haven't seen. I thought, thank you. Right. Literally. I'll be honest with you, old Dr. Bill. And he said, but boy, your cortisol is high at night. Hence the reason I could work till 2 or 3 in the morning. Oh, but in all reality though, that's what he said. But cortisol is a good thing. We need to raise your cortisol. What are you doing? And we do want to start getting your cortisol to come down at night. So I don't want people thinking that cortisol is bad. It actually is good. It's the precursor of all of your hormones. Yeah. All right. So for me, I knew like, oh my goodness, I need to start doing things to help in raising my cortisol even in the morning, that I needed to be kinder to myself. For me, cortisol, let's just be honest, it's a stress hormone as well. So what was I doing to stress my body out so much? Mm-hmm. What were those small things that I could help in leveling out, bringing up my cortisol and leveling out? And I want you to think about that as a listener. Mm-hmm. So when I say even the word stress and cortisol, and before I go there, I just want to stop. I was doing a little bit of research before this, and they were talking about, like, especially adults today. Adults have really high cortisol, that stress, about, I think they said 75 and it may be 79%. So I'm just going to feel very safe by saying between 75 and 79% had their cortisol off. All right. So in the morning, I want you to first start thinking about, are you jumping out of bed, racing to do things first thing, that you're getting that breathing like, and you're stressed and your mind is racing and you're doing all these things and you're trying to, or you are just heightening that cortisol? Please, in the morning, sit in front of a window even. I like getting the daylight. I will tell you that sunlight started changing things for me.
Okay. Well, they say, morning habits can make or break. So this is a really good start, Tracy. So walk us through what small morning routine we can all do to start to lower that cortisol a little bit, to then, it goes with the natural circadian rhythm.
Because it does, the way you start your day, we all know this. We've all heard this joke like, right? Oh, I got on the wrong side of the bed today, right? We've all heard that because, right, we got off on the wrong foot and it kind of trickled throughout the day. Well, it kind of is the truth. And I watched my own patterns in my life. So just like last week, we talked about breaking patterns. So making sure maybe in the morning, you're not getting any type of sunshine, daylight. That's so important to, the circadian rhythm of your body, starting to bring that cortisol up. But even if you have high cortisol, bringing it up in a way that's really beautiful. Yes, all right. That's what I want people to understand. Like, there's a bunch of science behind it, but I just want to put it in terms that you can like visually see it and understand. So getting that daylight, even if you set a timer and you're like, you know what, I encourage you to go outside. If you can go outside, sit outside in it, take a small 5 to 10 minute walk. And maybe, you know what, you don't get to do it for 20, 30 minutes after, rising in the morning. That's okay. For me, there was times I couldn't get outside and walk. All of a sudden I was like, I'm going to sit in front of this window, even Indian style right now. And I'm just going to close my eyes and put something on for 5 minutes. It was music that was so calming, and I'd visualize. And when I closed my eyes and felt that light, we've all been there. It feels so good. I thought that alone is bringing joy. I'm listening to something that gratitude. That affects your hormones. That affects your cortisol.
That's such good advice, Tracy. I feel like every one of us could do that. And it's quick.
Yes.
You can add it to your routine.
Add it to your, break the pattern. If you want to become or do something else or become her, become him, go back to something, it is about breaking one tiny, small thing. And if you can add this 3 to 5 minutes, whatever that is, I want you to start doing that. Start having that warm lemon water in the morning. Start giving your cells hydration. Hydration will affect the cortisol and adrenals. Put that sea salt in. So these are things I constantly get. And people all the time go, I can't believe this simple morning routine. I can't believe I have less brain fog. I can't believe I have less cravings. I have less puffiness.
Oh, yep. Cortisol face. We were just talking about that. I had cortisol face bad about a year ago, you guys. It was bad.
Cortisol face.
Actually, even 6 months ago, I had cortisol face.
Yes. But there's small changes. You don't have to go and have a big test done and have all these things done. I promise you. But I also want you to know that you're not going to do it for 2 days in a row and then it be done.
Yeah.
No, this is self-love, self-care. No, there's no doubt. You can't tell me, oh, this isn't good for me. No, this isn't a fact. I promise you that simple routine done over time consistently, and you're going to keep growing on it, is going to help and bring the changes to your body and your life. I would say that I could, because I've actually been speaking about this since 2011, and continuously, hands down, it's the number one thing I've had people say, I can't believe. And Tracy, when I've gotten off track, I can still hear you in my head. And I go back to that warm lemon water. I go back to that sunshine, and it changes. We forget.
Write this down, you guys, because she's given some rapid fire tips today. And that is such an easy free hack, by the way. Free hack.
I just want this to be simple today.
I love that. And it's not even that simple. Well, it is simple, but I mean, like, there's so much beautiful science to it.
Yes.
And she's made it simple for you guys, right? Like, these are the questions that she's always getting, and we are finally here delivering. And so the second thing, Trace, that, we're getting those questions into that Living Alon email is like, what else can they do free today? What information can we give them to help them heal their hormones? A lot of people, I'm noticing this, they do not want to go get their hormones checked. It's hysterical. I know we're all busy. We've got, there's things here and there. We'll get there and we'll commit to you guys later. But we talk a lot about insulin, and you do this a lot, Tracy. And this is one where I think a lot of people are confused and they don't realize this is impacting their hormones. So can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Insulin, because we're going to talk about insulin resistant. Insulin is a hormone.
Did you know that, everybody?
Like, that's what people go on, wait a second, what? I always think about testosterone, right? My libido, my, progesterone. I mean, for so long, I'm like, no, insulin's one of them. Insulin's a huge one. Yeah. Like, I would tell you, probably the biggest one, in my personal opinion, is your insulin. Because it's either going to zap your energy as well, or it's going to give you energy. It super affects your sex hormones alone. Mm-hmm. So it's that confidence. It's those things in life. So let's talk about insulin, because there are so many simple things that you can do to be able to manage insulin. Because again, gosh, and I should even pull that up, because I was a little bit shocked. So let me see if I can even get this up here, because it was talking about like the percentage of insulin resistance today in adults, young adults, and also, older. All right.
And
so I'll have to find that.
Yeah. While you look that up, Tracy, I'll just briefly, we're talking about symptoms here, right? How to recognize. Okay, we all know potentially, if you have high cortisol, but how do you recognize if you have this? Well, do you have those cravings throughout the day? Are you like ravenously hungry? Okay. Are you having mood swings? Like a lot of that is insulin resistance that people don't realize. And with those symptoms, This is what I told Tracy. I said, before I learned about insulin and how it's affecting blood sugar and everything and how it literally is like, for me, it was one of the number one things that was affecting my energy. And there was a time when Tracy went through, like, let's go through my diet. Let's figure out if I am eating the way that I'm supposed to get my body back on track.
Yes.
So I would love, Tracy, after you
Okay.
have this statistic,
I
let's
do.
dive right into the food of it.
Because we eat every day.
Yes.
Food brings joy.
Yes.
It's something we think about all the time. And it's something that we can make small changes, like I just talked about, that can really make huge impacts. So here was a study, all right? So 40% of women, now this is ages 18 to 44%, already having insulin resistance. But they're saying now that even in teens, it's higher. It's starting to go up to 60% in teens. That it is so big now.
Oh, gosh.
And then 70% in women over 44.
Oh, gosh. Okay, can I just
Okay.
ask why, Tracy? Is it the processed food?
Okay.
What is this?
So let's talk about insulin. I always say I want you to think about insulin because I love to give analogies, right?
It's my favorite
As a
thing.
little like a light switch inside. Now, light switch, you turn it on and you turn it off. So insulin inside of your body, like I said, is it going to have you store fat? Or is it going to have you burn fat that it can, right? The glucose in your blood and that burning fat is giving you energy, or is it storing it and making you lethargic and those different types of things, right? So is it going to give you energy? Is it going to zap energy? Is it going to keep your body an alkaline or acidic, right? A lot of our autoimmune diseases. And yes, it's from the food, a lot of it. Now, I'm not going to say all, but a big part of working. How about this? From my experience, I'm going to speak right now, obviously statistically, but I can speak without a doubt because of thousands of women, it is the food that we're eating. Because if your body, once it goes in, it either is going to create, right, that glucose, it's either going to raise that insulin up and we become insulin resistant, right, which is causing all of that, or it puts the glucose into our blood sugar, into our blood, and gives us that nice steady energy.
Which we love. Who
That's
doesn't
what
want
we
more
want.
energy?
That's what I said. Yeah, I'm never saying like for people who went total, and I'm not going to get into this because that could be a passion, like total keto, never had a carb again. They didn't want anything. I'm like, well, you can't sustain that forever. We do need energy.
Yeah, that's not it.
But so when we started realizing, well, what are those things? What is spiking my insulin constantly all the time and affecting now my hormones and affecting everything you're talking about? I just say, let's talk about first thing in the morning. So many people were having that coffee with the sugar in it, instantly affecting my insulin and instantly grabbing the muffin or whatever at Starbucks or the croissant or that granola bar, because that sounded when those things were instantly converting to sugar and raising that blood sugar. And so that switch inside your body was like, I'm turning it off, right? You're becoming insulin resistant. And now you're eating, a lot of women, but even men, we start having that belly fat. And we know that that's not good. That is your body sick. That's actually your body speaking to you and saying, hey, this is off. Like I should be able to burn, that insulin. But now you are pumping my body with this. And now that metabolic, syndrome that we're, hearing so much today. So I would say to people, what are you fueling your body with? How are you breaking your fast? And maybe you don't break your fast until even 11. Maybe you're 11 o'clock person. Maybe you're not considering that breakfast. Is it with something that spikes your insulin? Or is it giving your body energy? Paige, you are so good at this. You always say, let me tell you what doesn't spike your insulin. Let me tell you what mostly. I don't want to say always. I'm always going to press up most people, but it's going to be protein. Break that fast. Give your body protein.
Mm-hmm. I had a friend once, Tracy, that said, carbs need a friend. Always have a friend with your carb. And so it's funny, when you just said that, I was like, I've always been a pretty macro balanced person when it comes to eating whole foods and all of that. I always had my protein, fat, and carb. Yeah. And it just rang in me forever. And so I have eaten like that before it was cool. Because she's like, it needs a friend. And I'm like, okay, my carbs need a friend. Now, I'm not getting rid of my carbs because they help give you energy, but I'm eating my protein, and maybe I have that avocado on the side with it, and then I have some sort of potato or whatever that looks like to you, but you're allowing your body to actually work the way it's supposed to. So if that phrase helps anybody, just remember that. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Like, I love that. And I'm going to say, it needs a friend, but you want to eat that protein before the carb.
Yep. Yeah, the protein, fat, carb. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always said, because I've watched somebody close to my life, they would always eat the bread first, eat all the rice first, or the pasta first, and then eat the protein last. Can I tell you, putting the protein in your body, because that's like the first injection, it's the first shot. And so you get that in. So then, one, you're actually creating fuller longer. But then when you put the carb on top of it, instead of it spiking, like, imagine like a chart, and it's going clear high, it's got the protein in there to keep it more level, to use it. You see how my voice came down?
I was just going to say, just picture Tracy's voice, everybody. When you're eating, just say, okay, it's going to be level. Get your protein in.
Right? It's more energy. Instead of the other one, if we put the potato or whatever, those carbs, those things like that, it spikes up. Right? So now, because we spiked it up, you went, boop, with the light switch inside, bam, you just turned it off. Now I'm storing. And what happens? You deplete in energy, even your skin and hair. Now it's affected that insulin. Remember, insulin's a hormone. Okay, I'm going to say this again, an important hormone in your body. So if you can make small tweaks. So as Paige always says, and I've always done, think protein. So many friends, I'm not going to get into GLP-1s and different things like that, but I had a friend reach out to me. Now, this has been a few months ago, and she even said, Tracy, while I'm on this, I needed a kickstart. She actually, I'm not here to judge. I want everybody to be happy and do whatever, but she said, will you teach me what I need to do though? How do I fuel my body? Tracy, I've been hearing you talk about fueling your body for so long. And I said, while you're on this, nothing wrong. Can I help you and understand how to put those good protein first? Adding the good carb and the fat. Let me help you in creating those habits while you're doing this. And it made my heart so happy. She said, I still don't want to be going every day to McDonald's and things and be on this. She said, I always hear you in my head and I want to take this opportunity. I was like, oh my gosh.
I love that because I also think when you're eating, you guys have Tracy's voice in your head when she says switch on and off. Like right before you're about to eat something, is it going to switch it on or off? And part of, living the living along lifestyle, it really is holistic. It really is. How are we fueling our minds, our bodies, whatever that may be? And it's so helpful to just have, Tracy in your head, just thinking, okay, is this going to zap?
Yes.
Or is this, or is this going to make me feel good?
Is it going to give me energy? It really is. People used to laugh all the time. They're going, say that phrase again, Tracy. But again, I want you to think about, so how are you breaking that fast in the morning, starting with your coffee, what you're eating? People always say, well, what about snacks, Tracy, or whatever it is? I will even link a couple of our episodes where we've talked about food, how to make meal plans, right? And again, remember, just think of the right, clean, good protein, what those good carbs. I am not here to fear you, but instead to take that beautiful hormone of insulin and bring it down and how to balance it so you have energy. Because when you have energy, you have confidence to go out and do that thing. And when you see those statistics that say now up to 70+% of women now have insulin resistant, I know they're not working at their optimal level. I know, right? Your hair is starting to even get brittle. You have brain fog. You don't have that energy. And we're here to be able to bring light to that. And that's why I'm going to go ahead, because this episode couldn't go really deep, but for you to start thinking, and I'll connect those episodes here. And if you have questions where you want us to go deeper on, here's what we want to do. Is we want you to be able to email in. So the link is in the description. Tracy, would you go deeper here? Here's what me and my friends would love to let you know. Here's where the confusion. You say this, but I don't understand. We'll have one whole episode on that topic and go deep. But today, as we're going in the fall, we're resetting. We're doing these things. We want to help you reset many things. And I know that cortisol and insulin is important to your energy and confidence.
Oh, I'm so excited about this. And I love it because there's a couple more here, Tracy. I feel like we should give a couple more, and I'm pulling out the list of this just because, again, these are actually free things. This is knowledge. So none of this, you don't necessarily have to do anything crazy. This is free knowledge that you can do to heal your hormones naturally.
Yes.
So going back, let's pull up this other list as well. There's just a few other things.
Okay. I love it.
What are a couple other things that we can do every day? And I have a feeling I know what it's going to be. But you are hysterical, and I will just preface it with this. Tracy, in her bedroom, she just has, a couple weights right there. If she might have a few 5 minutes, she's going to get it in. Because why? She knows movement is good for her. And so, Tracy, what are some free tips? This is home. They don't have to go to a gym.
No.
What is some quick ways to get movement in? We had that question come in. I don't have time to go to the gym.
I do get this question a lot.
What can we do? So no excuses, because I see Tracy hey, if she even has 5 minutes, the girl is doing 20 squats. And I'm looking over at her and I'm just like, I can't.
I'm going to say this real quick. First of all, make it work into your day. And don't ever think, here's the thing. It's like, I can't go to the gym for an hour, or I can't do this thing. And I heard somebody say once, and I just never forgot, they said, do snack size workouts, snack size movement. And I remember I was like, snack size? It never left me. And I don't even know if I've shared this with you.
I love that.
And I was like, they're 2 minutes. We think, I always talk about the compound effect, right? Scooching out different bad toxins. We can't go down that rabbit hole at this second, right? But the compound effect, what it looks like. Well, so if I do 2 minutes here and 2 minutes here, 2 minutes here, 6 minutes a day, it amazingly enough makes a huge difference. So I'll say, Paige got to witness this. I actually have a mat, and on this, it's called a squat mat. And it has because it's for 5 feet and under, right? A person that height, and it has feet on it, and it has 6 different positions of doing squats. I put it in front of my bathroom door. Okay. And as I'm coming out, not normally go in the bathroom because I need to pee first. Let's just be honest. As I'm coming out, I know it's going to take me 2 minutes. And on each one of those 6 different areas, we'll do 10, 10, 10, 10. And then I go back in 10, 10, 10, 10. I will tell you what, it makes a difference.
You are so inspirational. It's hysterical. I can't even. I have no words.
Okay.
It's amazing.
While you're on the phone talking, Paige was doing this the other day and I was showing her and I said, I do the same thing. I'll start doing kicks. So I'm talking and we're marching back and forth, but I'll do knee raises even higher. But I just keep moving. I thought, well, that's movement. I will pull up even if I don't have weights, but I do have weights from 2 pounds to 20 pounds. I will admit this. And I've had them for years, but I will just pick up little tiny weights. Overhead, Tracy, just get by. I just see.
Just get the lymph going.
That's the lymph. Yeah. I see it moving. I have been in a hotel room before and grabbed water bottles. I don't care when you move. I'm more than happy. There are a couple different things. Again, email into Alon Pure. What are those things that you want to hear even with movement? Because I will even send snack size. Don't think 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. So I try it 3 minutes a day. Listen, right? 3 times a day. It makes an impact because when I don't do it, I go, oh.
Yeah, the energy does get depleted.
Yes.
No, I will say, Tracy, you have inspired me on this. I am about the micro movements now. It's if I don't make it to the gym, I don't beat myself up. I'm no. It's okay. I've got 10 minutes. I'm going to we're going to do this and we're going to be happy about it. Okay, I have a last one, Tracy.
Oh, gosh.
Because I do know we've got a beautiful episode planned for this next one. Yeah. And you are so, you radiate joy. You obviously radiate living Alon. That is why this is your show. But I want to leave this with a free thing we can do. And this was not one that was added in, but we always got to do a little twist of Alon. Okay. Leave it in with what's one thing they can do a day that could bring them joy? Free. We went through the healing hormones, but you know what also I personally believe heals hormones? Happiness. Joy. Living a life that you genuinely love. And you are so good at this. So what is one thing? I put her on the spot with this one.
I know she did. And happiness is the number one. And I just say that. I want everybody to understand happiness. And so in the midst of chaos, because we're all going to go through it many times, and whatever that's life. That's doing life. So in the midst of chaos, when I am going, I will pause and always write down the things I'm in gratitude for. Let me tell you, right now, we're in the middle of the heat in Arizona, and I think to myself, unfortunately, I do see homeless, and I remember just 2 weeks ago thinking, Tracy, you think life's so bad, you think this, right? There was something just weighing on my mind. There are people that are sleeping in a cardboard box out in this heat. Girl, you have air conditioning. Girl, you're laying on a mattress. There's a roof over. You know how many people right now want this? I'm not kidding. It's the small things. And I know you probably saw me start this. I went to the store the other day. I was so joyful that this thing I bought was $5 off. I wrote down, thank you, thank you, thank you. I say it was like I went and plucked a $5 bill off the tree because that's $5 I saved. When you tiny micro, what I just talked about, snack size movement, micro things in the middle of the chaos that are big. Please don't get me wrong. But when you do, the joy in your heart, it will stay there. It will keep compounding. So every day in the middle of the chaos, those small things are gigantic. That's what's going to create energy and confidence.
I just was speechless. My eyes. I can't agree more, Tracy.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom, wellness, but just overall holistic. And I'm so excited that we were able to give this to the audience.
Oh.
Again, please email in. Let us know what else you want to hear. And I'll let you close us out because really, this is the Living Alone
We
podcast.
want to hear from you because, as always, here is to your energetic, confident self. Until next time.